You're listening to the Chorus One podcast, a show that covers decentralized networks and their impact on the evolution of automated and borderless economies. On this podcast, we invite pioneers and builders to discuss the decentralized protocols and projects they are working on. On the show today, we have Arjun Bhuptani, founder of Connext. Connext is an interoperability network which is going to market with NXTP, a non-custodial cross-chain protocol. Connext is trustless, meaning there is no trust placed in external validators outside two native blockchains where a cross-chain transaction is occurring. Connext makes use of routers, which are nodes that facilitate cross-chain transfers and hold liquidity of different assets on multiple chains. If a user wants to move from chain A to chain B, they would signal their desired route to Connext network. Connext then broadcasts a user's desired route across chains for routers to submit the best price they can give the user, like Uber. A user would then receive the cheapest route possible to transfer their assets across chains from routers that have the most available liquidity and most competitive fees. We talked to Arjun about the trustlessness nature of Connext, how it locally verifies transactions versus other possible models, how routers facilitate transfers, the intricate economics of Connext, how Connext ecosystem actors interact with each other, plus so much more.
Hello to another Chorus One podcast episode. Today with Arjun Bhuptani. I hope I pronounced it halfway right. Of Connext, and welcome to the show.
Thanks so much. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, so we're really excited. Like, one of the core topics for us is interoperability. That's of course the space where Connext is in. So maybe we can get right in and talk a little bit about Connext and also the new protocol you launched called NXTP. So maybe the first question would be, what is Connext and what is NXTP?
Yeah, good start. Connext is an interoperability network. Our goal is, our kind of overarching vision is that we're sort of headed towards this very heterogeneous mix of chains, both within the Ethereum ecosystem and then also more broadly within crypto. We see this happening because there's several reasons. One is, like, from an infrastructure standpoint, from a decentralization standpoint, it makes sense to have like a diversity of different types of solutions, like chains, L2s, things like that, to allow for like different types of scaling and to push push different, like, new types of use cases that you wouldn't be able to have otherwise. But then in addition to that, the other reason is also just because people hate adopting standards, and they people will sometimes go and choose a different type of network, a different type of solution, if only because they want to be contrarian. Now our kind of overarching vision is that we think that there's a need for a protocol or a set of protocols that connects all of these different kinds of systems together, and a big challenge is how to do that when they're all very different from one another. Connext right now is this like broader network that will enable this type of connectivity between different chains and L2s. And then NXTP is sort of our first like base layer protocol. You could kind of think of it like TCP/IP. It's a base layer protocol that allows you to do like the most simple kind of connection, which is like cross-chain transfers and contract calls. And that connection can eventually be upgraded to like more sophisticated kinds of communication between chains, depending on what other infrastructure is available and what chains you're communicating with.